Hi everybody, and welcome back to Betty's Creative Boutique. Today I want to show you a very simple craft. You're going to love it. It's the easiest one we've done and it's really cute. So we're going to start with some dollar store plates. These are just clear see-through plates from the dollar store. And we're going to need Mod Podge. I always say it wrong. Mod Podge. And a brush. You can use those sponges like I showed you before from the dollar store. They just are a stick with a sponge on them and you dip them in the Mod Podge. I don't know why I brought up the bigger brush, but I did. And then you're going to need material. So I did a solid material because I want the solid one for the big plate because we're going to be putting them on a plate stand. And so the solid one will go on the plate in the back and the printed one will go on the little plate in the front. Okay, so we're going to get started with the solid one. And all you do is take your material and you set it around your plate. And you want it to, you want to go further than your plate. You want it to be a little bigger than your plate. And I'm always losing my scissors, guys. I think I set them over to the side over here. Let me grab those. Okay. So what you're going to do is just cut it bigger than the plate. So I'm going to just cut the excess off. I went to Joann Fabrics for my material and I had them cut it kind of big because I figured if anything happened I wanted to have extra. And honestly, it's a very good thing I did because I tried this video right before this and I've done this craft once before, but it was probably 15 years ago. It was so long ago. And so when I did it, I put too much Mod Podge on my plate. And so the plate looked white when it was done. And I know it's going to take a little bit for it to dry under there, but I was worried it was going to dry white. So this time I'm going to do a thinner coat underneath. I don't think I need such a big globby coat. I thought I did need a big globby coat because to hold on the material, but I guess Mod Podge is pretty hardy and it can handle it. So it doesn't have to be real thin, but I'm going to do a little thinner of a coat than what I did. And so I'm just coating the back. You want to make sure your plate's upside down. Coat the back. And try not to leave big globbies on there, but make sure you hit every part of your plate. But no big globbies. Okay, so when you're done, it should look something like that. Okay, so now we're going to set that down. We'll just move this little one off to the side. So we're taking our green. I picked out green. You can pick out any colors you want. Just make sure they match each other. It doesn't have to be, you can do them where they're not just holiday ones. You can do it where you can leave it out all the time. Now I'm just pushing it down and trying to get any wrinkles that are in it out of it. Okay, so once that's done, then you take your Mod Podge and you go over the material around it. Now this part, you can make it a little thicker because you want it to, because I think the material will sop it up a little bit. And so you want to make it a little thicker. And I'm going to try not to leave globbies though, because they don't dry right if you do that. And so we're going to try to keep the globbies off. You just go around, you want it to be not thick, but make sure it's just covering all the material. That's the main thing. And you want to go all the way to the end. Make sure it's to the end. Okay, I think that's pretty good. I don't know if you can hear, by my feet, my doggie is laying there snoring. It's my little girl. She's my baby. All right, so that's how it should look. Can you see that good? All right, I have wax paper down because I knew it was going to get like messier than I wanted on my tablecloth. And once again, I put the tablecloths down. Remember how I always do it. I put a rubber one, and then I have a thicker rubber one on top. I hope I can find these again, right, I've had these forever. I've used them with my crafts forever and ever and ever. Now I'm going to put that one to the side, and we're going to do the little one. And with the little one, we're going to use a pattern. I'm going to put this over there. Okay, so here's our pattern. I decided to do a truck pattern because everybody's always so into the red trucks right now. And I really liked this one here where it's got the dog coming out of it and then the snowman at the bottom. I thought that was really cute. So let me see if I can cut that one correctly. I think we're gonna have to go, let's see. Actually this one's cute too with the presents, but I think I'm gonna do the one with the snowman. I like the snowman. Okay, so the one I see is right in the middle of my fabric, so I can't mess up this time. So I'm just going to kind of set it around, and then I'm going to just cut off some of the sides over here so it's not quite so big. So I don't think I'll get anything else out of my material. Nothing real cute, but that's okay. I bought it just for this anyway. Alright, we'll just throw these to the side. And now what we're going to do is what we did before. We're going to go back over it again with this. And remember, we don't want it globby. I made that mistake once. We don't want to do that again. Alright, so going around the outside. And we want to make sure that we're covering everything. So if you do mess up like I did, and you notice that there's too big of globbies when it's trying to dry, you can always pull the material off and bring it to your sink and wash it off. And honestly, the Mod Podge will wash off. I was worried that it wasn't gonna, but it did. Okay, so now I'm going to try to take this red truck and I'm going to center it in the middle of my plate. And I want to make sure that my snowman's going to show because I like him. I care more about the cute little snowman than I do some of the other stuff on here. Okay, so then you just kind of push it down about where you want it. And then you take your Mod Podge, and you go over the outside. And you want to get it all the way to the end, remember. Alright. And you're trying to make sure that you don't have wrinkles. You're trying to get rid of the wrinkles. If for some reason you have one little wrinkle in there, I would try to do my best to get rid of them. But if something happens and you can't get rid of it, there's nothing you can really do then about it. But I would try my hardest. I'm going to pour a little bit more on here and use that. I know I've said it before, but I really do like the smell of the Mod Podge. It really smells good. All right. Okay. So I'm hoping I have better luck this time. I do believe I have it all covered really good. I'm going to close up my Mod Podge. Gotta get used to saying it like that. Close it up. And I'm going to set it to the side. And I'm going to come back to my big plate. It's still wet. So I did bring my hairdryer out. I'm going to push the little one to the side, and I'm going to bring the big one back over here. And I'm going to go ahead and dry. So, be right back. If you see a spot that you realize that you missed, just go ahead and use the Mod Podge and then just go back, and you at home, you don't have to sit and dry it with the hairdryer. I'm doing that because I want to show you the finished product. Dry enough that you can cut around the edges, then that's what we're going to do. I'm going to hold it upside down at first, and I'm just going to, I can feel where the glass is, I'm just going to cut around the edge. Close to the edge as I feel like I can get. And then we'll turn it over and see how it looks and if we need to trim it anymore. Now I'm not sure when I turn it over if it will be completely dry between the plate and the material. I know the back now where I was drying it is pretty darn dry, but this is such a simple little craft. I think you guys would enjoy it. And you just go and you pick out whatever material you like and pick two that go together. But don't pick two busy ones, because if you do that, it doesn't look right. Like one takes away from the other and it just doesn't work. It has to be a little bit less busy. I'll show you an example other than this one after we're done with this one. All right, so I'm going to flip it over and look and see if I need to trim it more. And I believe that I should. You don't want any material showing over your glass like that one is. So I'm going to go ahead and trim that part off now. And you don't want to trim it too far either, because you don't want material missing under your plate either. So you do need to dry on here when you're doing this, because otherwise it could either slide around or it would be harder to cut the material if it's wet. So it's nice to have it stiff. So it did not dry yet in between the plate and the material, but I know it wasn't globby, so I think we're gonna be okay, and it should dry clear, but it does look a little bit globby. So that's what I have so far. See how it has to dry inside. So I'm going to set this one down for now, and I'm going to go back to this little one, and we're going to have to dry that one now. So that's my next attempt, is to dry that. I'm going to pull it over here and start drying. Okay, I think it's dry enough for us to go ahead and cut. So let me pull that off of there. Okay, I'm going to do it upside down again at first and then right side up. This seems to work better that way for me. It does seem like it's still wet between the plate and the material in between. I think that takes more like somewhere around 20 minutes or so to dry. Okay. I'm going to push it down again, all the way around, and then I'm going to flip it over, and we're going to cut again along whatever parts. Yeah, see, we still need to do it again on this one too. All right, so I'm going to do that. Throw that to the side. All right. And you don't want it to, you want it to look smooth, like not all rigidy. So you want to make sure you're getting it nice and smooth. And honestly, I feel a ripple. I think it is trying to move on me a little. It's because the underneath is still wet. All right. I thought this was really cute because everybody always likes the red truck stuff right now. So I thought it would be cute. It'd be something nice to sit on your counter especially if you're into that style. So many people have that through their house at Christmas time. So I got it all trimmed up real good. Okay, so now we want it to dry a little more. I'm gonna go ahead and maybe try to use the dryer on it for a minute again and see if it'll dry underneath in between there. I think because the Mod Podge is on there too, like it's creating a barrier now because this part's dry, but I'm gonna try again. No, I guess that's it. Okay, I'm gonna show you the finished product. So right now they do still need to dry in between, but this is what it looks like so far. And all you do is you buy a little plate stand. This one I had, but I have seen these at the dollar store, so you can get them at the dollar store. This one's kind of light and flimsy a little bit. They have all different sizes. And so there's our finished product. And this is another one that I made 15 or so years ago, and I put it out every single winter. I love it. So these are just ideas. I hope you liked this craft, and if you did, please like, share, and comment on YouTube, and please subscribe, and I hope to see you again. Have a great night. Bye-bye.